we'll be beginning in just another minute or two. So make sure that you have any props that you might need, a block, a belt. And just to get started, just sit wherever you feel comfortable on your mat. We're going to end up standing, but just for right now, before we begin, just maybe let yourself sit in a comfortable position and close your eyes and just start to connect a little more inward, finding your breath, your ujjayi breath, the breath that travels through the back of the throat. So you want to hear the sound that the breath makes. And just allowing yourself to close your eyes and let go of anything that you may have brought with you onto your mat this morning. And we want to try and let go of any of that stuff, anything that doesn't serve you. So once your eyes close and you start to connect to your breath, just begin to feel yourself coming into the present moment. And let your eyes remain closed and just continue to follow your breath as it rises and falls with the inhalation and the exhalation. Allowing yourself just to feel present here and now. So if your mind starts to drift away into any thought, try to guide it back into just your breath, listening to the flow of the breath moving through the back of your throat. Just staying here another few more seconds, and then we'll come to stand at the top of the mat. So if your eyes are closed, open the eyes and just come to stand at the top of your mat, coming into our mountain pose. So for mountain pose, we want to bring the big toes to touch. You want to bring your feet in as close together as possible. And once your feet come in close, just lift the 10 toes off the floor. Feel that you're pushing into the big toe ball mound of your foot and feel the other ball mounds of the toes pressing down. Spread the toes wide. Look down at your toes and keep spreading them as wide as you can, seeing them separate from each other. Maybe you find that some toes really want to stay close to others, but just do the best to really spread them wide and then gently place them down to the floor. And just see some mat in between your toes. And then just rock onto the balls of the feet, lifting your heels, and then place your heels down to the floor. Really feel your arches slightly lifting up, opening out from your hips, engaging your quadriceps. So allowing the legs to straighten, but try not to lock your knees. And let your arms just relax down alongside you. Draw your tailbone down to the floor by pulling your navel into the back of the spine. And let yourself stand up nice and tall with the shoulders down away from the ears, keeping the ears over your shoulders, keeping your chin level with your mat. Crown of the head extends up to the ceiling, and your gaze is forward. Drawing your belly into the back of the spine, so when you want to really feel that you're engaging your abdominal muscles. And then from here, just turn your hands slightly open and lift the shoulders up to the ears. Roll them back and down without sticking out your chest, but feeling that you're creating space through the chest. Reach the fingertips down to the mat and spread the fingers wide. And then if comfortable, close your eyes. If not, just continue to find a spot on the wall in front of you to look at. And just let yourself come into this mountain pose where we're feeling grounded, feeling our strength rising up from the earth, and stay connected to the ujjayi breath, listening to the sound the breath makes traveling through the back of your throat. So coming into mountain pose can be even challenging for some of us, just to kind of hold a steady posture, Tadasana. And then if your eyes are closed, allow them to slowly open. And then just let your arms relax. Continue to keep the legs engaged, the hips open. And let's just take the right shoulder, raise it up to the ear, roll it back and down. And then take your left shoulder, lift it up to the ear, and roll it back and down. So alternating shoulder rolls. Right shoulder lifts, bring it back and down, and then draw the left shoulder, lift it up, and bring it back and down. One more time for the right, and one more time for the left. Now let's bring both shoulders all the way up to the ears. Roll them back and down. And lifting up, roll both shoulders back and down. Continue to keep your belly in. Last time, raising the shoulders and bringing them down. And from here, let's take the arms, extend them all the way up. Open your arms forward and allow the palms to face one another. You're going to bring your fingers so that they're facing forward and the palms are now facing down towards the mat. Relax your shoulders, and we're going to let the fingers reach to the ceiling as you push the heels of your hands forward. Really stretch through the heels of the hands to feel the stretch through your wrists, and then lower the fingers to the floor. And raise the fingers once again up to the ceiling, pressing through the heels of your hands, and lower the fingers down to the floor. And lift up, and lowering the fingers down. From here, just circle the hands from the wrist. Try to avoid bringing the arms into a movement. Just let the hands move from the wrist. Then circle around, go the other direction. And then raise the arms all the way up. As you reach your arms up, take your hands onto your shoulders and let your elbows stick out to the side. So try to lift them up shoulder height. Try not to let them be too high up to the ceiling, but out to the side, facing the opposite wall. And then drawing your belly in, let's start to take the elbows up to the ceiling, draw them forward, and try to let your elbows touch as you make a circle around. Elbows go back, and lifting up, press the elbows together and making a big circle around just to open up your shoulders. Once the elbows come together, lift the elbows back up to the ceiling, reverse that circle. Feeling your chest expand, feeling the shoulder blades squeeze, and really feeling the shoulders opening up. And then finishing up, bring both arms all the way down alongside you. Inhale, take the arms out and up. We're going to take a forward fold. So you're going to fold forward about halfway. Separate your legs a little wider. Feel a little bit more grounded and secure in the feet. And draw your navel into the back of the spine. You want to try to fold as far forward as possible to come into a 90-degree angle. So if you have to bend your knees slightly, bend your knees. But try to keep the back nice and long. So feeling the stretch as you open in through the back of your leg. And then put a slight bend in the knees and lift your arms all the way back and up. And release your arms down. Take your left arm, extend it all the way up towards the ceiling. Slide your right hand down to your right thigh and reach the left arm over the left ear, taking a nice lateral stretch. Release your right shoulder and really press the left hip away from the rib cage. Keep reaching your fingers towards that right side of the room. And come back up, lower the hand down. Bring the right arm, extend it up, and take a side stretch all the way over to the left. Now pressing the right hip out, reaching the right fingertips over to the side wall. And try to keep that lateral stretch, chest is facing forward, not down. And come back to center. And from here, both arms lift. And taking that forward fold again, arms go out to T, shoulders down, pull the belly in, and hinge from your hips. Opening those shoulders. Start by keeping your legs straight, but you want to go down about 90 degrees. And once you get down there, you have to keep the slight bend in the knees, keep them slightly bent. Pull your belly into the back of the spine, and you want to feel the stretch coming into the back of the leg. Hinge from your hips and come all the way up, reaching up. Both arms lower down. And we're going to take the left arm up again, stretching it all the way out and over. And then come back and releasing the right arm, stretch it up and over. And bring it down. Left arm goes up and over. Nice side stretch, going a little deeper each time you take your side stretch. Follow your breath. Exhale, right arm down. Last time, left arm inhale, raises up. Exhale, down, and last time, right arm lifts. Inhale. And exhale, bring it down, taking both arms all the way up. Inhale, and taking our forward fold. This time as we come here, holding again, pull the belly in, and then bend, taking your hands right below your knees. So if you need to bend your knees slightly, bend them slightly, and try to get that back nice and long. And then just start to lower the hands down towards the ankles, bending the knees as much as you need to, and place your hands to the floor. Step your left leg back for a lunge and wiggle that left foot back. Let your left knee lower down to the mat and flatten the toes on your left foot. Bring both hands to the top of your right thigh and allow your hips to move forward. Let your tailbone tuck under. You want to feel a stretch opening into your left hip flexor. And breathe here. Just pressing both hips forward. Your knee should be directly over the ankle, not over your toes. And from here, bring both hands down on either side of your right foot. You're going to curl the toes, pressing back through that left heel. Feel a stretch opening into that left calf. And then you're going to take the left foot and bring it forward to meet the right. Switching sides now, the right leg is going to go back for our lunge. Wiggle that right foot back as far as you can, letting the pelvis lower and keeping that 90-degree angle over the left ankle. Once you have that, bring your right knee to the floor and flatten the toes on your right foot. You want to bring both hands onto the left thigh, and then allowing your tailbone to press down and hips move forward. Tuck your tail under and just pressing those hips to feel the hips flex, the right hip flexor getting a stretch. And breathe where you are. And just feeling that stretch. And then both hands come down. As we curl the back toes, you're going to push through the heel, lifting your knee to feel the stretch coming into that right calf. So if you're not feeling a stretch in the right calf, press your heel further back to the mat behind you. And then we're going to take the right leg and bring it forward to meet the left. And coming all the way up, arms in T, hinge from your hips. And let's come up, bring your hands together, look up, and slowly take the hands as they come down to the center of your heart. Draw your chin to your chest. Bring the big toes together, separate those toes nice and wide. Coming back to your mountain pose, but with our hands in Anjali Mudra. Thumbs pressed into the center of the heart. Let your eyes stay closed or open, whatever brings you into just this present moment. Listen to the sound that your breath is making. And slowly let your eyes open. Let's bring both arms all the way up. Inhale. And as your arms extend up, step your left leg back. Once the left leg goes back, you want to keep that the left toes angled at the left corner of the mat. So slightly facing forward, not turning to the left completely. And we're going to extend bend the right leg at the knee. As you bend that leg at the knee goes over the ankle. If you find that the knee is going beyond your toe, you can wiggle the right foot further forward, or you can take your left leg back. So coming into our warrior one, the hips are facing the front of the mat. The shoulders are down. If this is too much on your shoulders, you can keep the arms out, or just keep your hands on your hips or your arms down. So whatever feels comfortable for your shoulders, the full pose is with the arms up, but we have to begin to just understand to get that right position of the body. And maybe our arms coming up isn't something that we're ready for at this moment. But you want to let your chest stay expanded. And if you are able to bring those arms up, you want to keep them extended straight up. You're going to feel that left heel pressing down into the mat, pushing it down to stretch into the left calf. Straighten your right leg, and then bend the leg and let your left foot come to meet the right. Bring both hands back to Anjali Mudra into the center of your heart. Just take a moment as you stay in your mountain pose, big toes touch. Make sure you're at the top of your mat. And we'll take it now, our warrior one on the other side, the left side. So raising both arms all the way up, inhale. Step your right leg back, and when you do, step it far enough back so that the right leg goes back enough. Once you bend the left knee, the knee will go over your toes. The right toes angle more to the right corner of the mat. Squeeze your inner thighs together, bending your left leg at the knee. Try not to let that right heel pop up off the floor. Do the best you can to really press back into that right heel. And make sure that your hips aren't turning out to the side. You want to pull both hips forward. So really adjust that right foot so that it angles both that right hip to the front of your mat. And if the arms staying up is not something comfortable for you, again, you can bring the arms out or keep your hands on your hips or even keep your arms down. Squeezing your inner thighs together and really trying to rotate that right hip forward. Left thigh should be parallel to the mat. And then from here, if your arms are up, you can keep them here wherever they are. You're going to straighten the left leg, bend the left leg, and bring your right foot to meet it. And both hands come back into prayer. Thumbs come right to the center of the heart, hands in Anjali Mudra, and hold here. So as you come out of that pose, you may notice a little slight burst of energy, or you might notice more acceleration in your heart rate. And just let yourself connect to the flow of your breath, trying to really match that heart rate. So you want to elongate the breath, really being able to feel that you're in control. So elongate your breath and just utilize that breath to feel that you're managing the energy that's starting to flow through you. From here, let's bring the arms down. You're going to take your legs slightly wider than about hip distance apart. So opening the legs, you want your ankles to come right underneath your hips. We're going to bring the arms out to the side and up, inhale. And taking a forward fold, just as we did earlier, you're going to take your hands onto the shins, pushing your hips back. Fold your chest down towards your thighs and try to keep your legs as straight as possible. Make sure that your hips are over the ankles. You don't want to push back with your butt, and pull your shoulders away from the ears. Tuck your tail under and draw your navel in. You want the lower back not to arch. Pull your shoulders away from the ears. So just taking your fold as far down as you can while you keep your legs straight this time and the back straight. And then put a slight bend in the knees and sweep your arms back behind you. Interlace your fingers. Stretch the knuckles up towards the ceiling and keep pressing your chest towards the thighs and drop the crown of your head towards the toes. Let those knuckles stretch up. Try to think about bringing your chest onto your thighs. So bend your knees as much as you need to. Let your head hang. Keep reaching the knuckles up, as if you're trying to get your hands overhead and trying to touch the floor. And just let that tailbone lift up, pull the belly into the back of the spine. And bend, keeping the legs bent, you're going to release the arms alongside your ears, and then peel your chest off your thighs and keep the legs bent as you press your tailbone down for your chair pose. Pull the belly in and extend the arms up. If this is too much, you can keep your arms lower, but pull your shoulders back. You want to feel the chest expanding, not caving in. So if your back is rounded and your chest is pulling in, pull the shoulders back. And eventually you want to bring the arms up. So maybe even opening the arms out helps expand the chest. You can open the arms and keep them extended up. Stand straight up. Inhale. Exhale, we're going to fold forward again. And this time we're going to bring the hands to the floor. So bend the knees if you need to and take your left leg back. You're going to bring it back into a lunge, lowering the left knee down to the floor. And we're going to take the block. You want to bring the block into the inside of your right foot. Stretch your right arm forward. Lift the chest away from your right thigh and rotate open the chest. Keep thinking of sending your hips forward to the front of your mat. So you want to be pushing the energy forward, but rotating the right rib cage up to the ceiling. If this is too much with your arm up, you can keep your hand on your hip and keep trying to pull the right shoulder back. If you don't need the block, you can maybe keep your left hand onto the floor and keep your right hand onto your lower back. Keep pulling your right knee in toward that left shoulder and breathe here. And then bring that right hand down. You can remove the block. And once you do, you're going to curl your toes on the back foot. And we're going to take the left foot to meet the right. Going to take it back into that chair pose. So starting by bending both legs at the knees. Sweep your arms all the way back. Interlace the fingers and start to stretch the knuckles up. And just let the head hang. Drop the head to the floor. Start to think of trying to bring those arms overhead toward and letting the knuckles move towards the floor. And keep pulling your belly in. And then keeping the legs bent, we're going to start to release the arms and sink that tailbone down, coming into chair pose. So keep your knees over the ankles and lift up. And again, if the arms make your chest cave in, you can open the arms more, really expand, open the chest. Keep the arms forward. Eventually you'll bring them up higher, or just keep them here, or maybe even into the chest with your hands in prayer. And from here, stand straight up, lift the arms up, inhale, and exhale, fold forward. Taking the right leg back this time into our lunge. So wiggle it back as far as you can, letting your right knee come down to the mat. Bring the block in close to the left foot, the left big toe, to the inside, wherever you need it. Maybe you don't need it, but if you have the ability to let your chest lift up away from the side, you may not need the block. So we're going to bring it to whatever level feels comfortable, and then take your left arm forward and rotate the chest open. Keep pulling your left knee in towards the right elbow and lift that left arm up. So you want to get your left shoulder to try and stack over the right. If the arm is not able to go straight, keep the left hand onto your lower back or onto your hip, and keep trying to roll your shoulder back more so that you get a little bit more space, so that eventually the arm will be able to extend up. And then release your left hand, take that block away, and you're going to curl the back toes. And once you do, push back through your heel and let your right foot come forward to meet the left. From here, bend the legs again, last time taking that chair pose. So keeping your chest pressing onto the thighs, stretch your arms back, interlace your fingers and stretch the knuckles up. Drop the head and keep raising those knuckles, trying to get them overhead or thinking that they're going to go overhead. And you're going to bend your legs at the knees, sweeping it back to chair. So go a little deeper into your bend. Stretch your arms forward alongside the ears and lift up. Bring those hands wherever you feel you need to, making sure that your chest is not caving in. So squeeze the shoulder blades no matter where you are, open the chest. And then from here, stand straight up, inhale, exhale, and bring both arms all the way down. Take your hands into prayer, right to the center of your heart, big toes touch. And just notice, have you developed a little bit more energy? Has your heart rate increased just from doing those few poses? So as we increase that energy, we want to make sure that we're in control. So that's why it's important that we are linking with the breath, linking and keeping that flow of Ujjayi breath, flowing in and out through the back of the throat. So when you're exerting a lot of energy, you make that breath a little bit longer and maybe even hear that sound a little bit deeper. And let's take one more breath here. And then slowly let your eyes open. Extend both arms all the way up and folding forward. Try to keep those legs as straight as you can. Bend the legs if you need to as you place the hands down to the floor. So if you're very flexible, you might not need to bend the legs, but once your hands come down, try to get those legs straight and then step your left leg back. Once your left leg goes back, lower that left knee down onto the mat. And then we're going to take the both hands on either side of your right foot. Stretch your left leg, press it all the way back, lifting the left knee off the floor. So getting that stretch coming into that left hip flexor. We're going to let that left knee come down once again. And we're going to take the left foot and bring it over to the right side of your mat. As you do that, you're going to lean back your hips towards that back of your mat and just let yourself come down onto your butt. So the right leg stays extended and you're just going to wiggle that left foot so that it comes right to the inside of your right thigh. Let the toes flex on your right foot and try to keep both hips square and facing forward. Continuing to increase the stretch in the hamstrings, we're taking a forward fold. So we're going to just keep the hands right alongside that left foot and the right thigh. And then pull your right hip back, draw your navel into the back of the spine. Keep the right toes flexed and start to bring your chest forward. Only as far forward as you can hinge from the hips. So we're not rounding and dropping the head down. The crown of the head stays right in alignment with the tailbone. So the movement is coming from your right hip. And just pull the shoulders back, flex your right toes, and keep pulling that right hip back so that you feel the stretch into the back of your right leg. And the left foot is into the inside of your right thigh. And slowly come back up. Now let the right foot come flat. You're going to take the left foot over to the right side of your mat once again. And just use your hands as you come back into that lunge position and wiggle the right foot forward. So get your right foot to come all the way forward into your lunge. And now we're going to take the left leg and we're going to lift the knee and bring the left foot to meet the right. The right leg is going to go back now, stretching it back. Keep pushing back. Lower the right knee down to the floor. Make sure that the alignment with the left knee is over your ankle. And then push back with that right heel, lifting the knee to go deeper into the right hip flexor. So when you lift your knee and push your heel back, you're going to feel more of openness coming into the right hip flexor. And let that right knee come back down to the floor. Take the right foot over to the left side of your mat. And just start to bring your butt down. So you're going to flex that left foot. And once you bring your buttocks down, you're going to take that right foot and wiggle it so that it comes right to the inside of your left foot. And both hips are facing towards the front of your mat. Your left foot is facing up to the ceiling and the foot is flexed. Bring both the right hand next to the right foot and the left hand next to the outside of your left thigh. And then keeping your back nice and long, just begin to hinge forward. Just hinge forward to take your forward fold, stretching into the back of the left hamstring. And if you have very open hamstrings, the fold may even be a little deeper. But if you have very tight hamstrings, it may not be that far, but you're still creating the stretch. It's more important that you keep the back long rather than rounding the back and dropping your head, so that the motion comes from the hip. And then slowly come back up. Let your left foot slide in. Take the right foot a little bit over to the left. You're going to come back onto the right knee and then wiggle that left foot forward. Coming back to your lunge. Curl your back toes, going back into that right hip flexor stretch. And then we're going to take it all the way back onto the hands and knees. So your left leg is going to go back and both knees are going to come down. Both knees are under your hips and both palms are directly under your shoulders. Allow the fingers to spread wide. We're going to take balance here, balancing on the one hand and one knee. So starting with the left leg, you're going to extend that left leg back and point the toes, draw the left hip to the floor. Take your right arm and extend it alongside the right ear. Keep your belly pulled in, trying to get the balance by squeezing your abdominal muscles. That will help you find that balance and really lift out of the left hand. Try to keep that left hip facing down to the floor. Now, if you're feeling strong enough and pretty much in control of your balance, bend your left leg and reach back to find the top of your foot. Pull your heel away from your left buttock and reach that foot up to the ceiling, keeping your chest down and keeping the crown of your head facing the front of the mat. If that's too much of a challenge, just keep your arm and leg extended, and that may be your challenge today. Bring the right hand back down to the mat and let your left knee come back under the hip. So continuing on working on our balance, the right leg will go back now. Turn that right hip down to the floor, and when you feel ready, let the left arm reach up. Make sure that the right leg isn't just hovering over the mat. Try to get it to be about hip height, and try to lift out of that right hand, left arm extends, and breathe. So making sure that Ujjayi breath is flowing through the back of your throat. If you want a little bit more of a challenge, bend the right leg and reach back. See if you can find the top of your foot and pull your heel away from your butt. Try to find the steadiness here. So just trying to be in control of this balance. Then release the hand and the leg. Bring the palm to the floor. Bring your knee to the mat. And let's take our first child's pose. Big toes come together. Take your tailbone down towards your heels. Reach and extend your arms forward. And if you need the block, you can bring the block under your forehead. If not, the forehead comes onto the floor and your arms stay extended. And just breathe. Let everything go. Listen to your breath. So this is our resting pose. Anytime any postures feel a little bit challenging, you can take a rest here and then resume when you feel that you're ready. We're going to come back onto all fours. So coming back onto your hands and knees, the palms will go back underneath your shoulders and your knees will come right underneath your hips. We're going to take the left leg back again. As you press that left leg back, curl the toes of your right foot. And just see if you can allow your right knee to lift up off the mat and take that left leg up. That's a little bit of a challenge while we're taking and maintaining balance. Lower the left foot down back into down dog if you need to. Otherwise, you can keep your left leg extended. I'm going to bring that right knee back down onto the mat and take the left knee under the hip. Toes come flat. This time, right leg is going to go back. Draw the hip down. Curl the back toes. Keep that leg lifted. Lift the knee and raise your right leg up. You can lower that right leg back down so it comes into a full down dog rather than a three-legged dog. And lower that left knee back down. Bring your right knee back under the hip and take it right back into a child's pose once again. Reach and extend the arms. So giving yourself a little bit of a challenge this morning, seeing where your balance is, seeing where you are in your practice. If it feels too challenging, try not to get discouraged. You can always stay in child's pose if you're not ready for whatever is happening. So you don't have to always do everything. You can do what feels natural to do and feels comfortable to do. So from here, let's come back onto all fours, but keep your arms extended. Bring your knees back under your hips, and we're lifting up into down dog. So curl the toes and take your tailbone back and up. Dropping the crown of your head towards the mat, press through your heels. And then slowly let the knees come back to the floor and take your legs out to one side. Sit down onto your buttocks and bring the soles of your feet together. So once the soles of the feet touch, pull them in close to the groin, but without rounding your back. You don't want to round and hunch. You want to just sit up nice and tall. You can use the block to elevate the floor up so that your back will stay straight and your hips will open a little bit. So turn the soles of your feet up to the ceiling, and then just from here, hinge forward, feeling the inner thighs and groin area just opening and getting a little stretch. So just a little bit of a forward motion brings that stretch a little deeper. Don't force it and try not to bounce your legs. So we don't want to pull any kind of muscle in the groin area. So just bring your chest as close to your side, your soles of the feet as possible. And then slowly lift up. And we're going to take the feet forward into a forward fold. So flex your feet and just kind of move the flesh away from your buttocks, making sure that the feet are flexed to the ceiling. We're going to bring both hands in prayer position. Raise both arms up alongside your ears. And then keeping the feet flexed, just hinge from your hips. Just as we did earlier when we had the foot into the inside, we had the hands down, but we folded with the chest open. So we're doing the same thing here, folding with the chest open. Then bring your hands wherever they come onto your legs, your shins, and pull the shoulders back, hinge from your hips. And as you're folding forward, just feel that deeper stretch coming into the hamstrings, but you also want to feel as your hips move back that you're stretching into your lower back. So this is a nice lower back stretch. By flexing the feet, you increase the stretch through the hamstring. And just breathe and then let your eyes close. And while your eyes are closed, just breathe and you might start to feel your body just letting go or giving yourself a little bit more permission, giving yourself a little bit more leeway to go a little deeper. Let your body just go where it's comfortable, maintaining that spine, keeping it straight. And then walk your hands up your legs and scoot to the front of your mat, and let's slowly come down onto the back. So once we're on our back, pull your heels in close to your buttocks. Let your lower back stay flat on the floor. And let's take the right leg, extend it all the way up to the ceiling and flex your foot. So continuing to increase the stretch in the hamstring. As the foot flexes, you want to feel that stretch. And then point the toe and flex the foot and point and flex and point. And then take that foot in a circular motion and circle it around the other direction. And allow that right ankle to come right on top of your left thigh, allowing that right hip to just open up. Pull your navel into the back of the spine, so you want to feel the lower back flat on the floor. And then let your left foot lift off the mat, pressing that ankle, pushing that left thigh into your right ankle, gives you that stretch into the right hamstring. So just use the leg for now to really feel that stretch. The more you push the left thigh into the ankle, the more you're going to feel the stretch in the right hip. And then let the left foot come down to the floor and release your right thigh into your chest. Interlace the fingers around the right shin and let your left leg go straight forward and flex the left foot. Flex your right foot and pull that right thigh into your chest. Squeeze your navel into the back of the spine. Keep the feet flexed as you push the left heel forward, pressing the right heel forward, pulling the right thigh to the chest. And then let your nose lift up towards your knee and pull your shoulders down. Take an inhale and exhale. Hold again. Inhale and exhale. And one more time. Inhale and exhale. Lower the head down. Soften the toes on both feet and take hold of the outside of your right knee with your left hand. Bring your right arm in T position. Inhale, drawing the navel into the back of the spine. And on your exhale, allow the right knee to just move over the left, towards the left side of your mat, bringing it towards the floor, but it doesn't have to touch. The right shoulder should stay on the floor as you bring that leg over. And just try to relax the leg. Turn your gaze to look over the right fingertips and breathe here. And bring your head back to center. Come out of your twist by bringing the right leg back up. And then bring your right foot to the floor and slide your left foot to the floor. Come back to the center of your mat. Both feet are flat. Navel draws into the back of the spine. And let your left leg extend all the way up with a flex foot. Push through the heel. You feel the stretch coming into the left hamstring. And then point the toes and flex and point and flex, point and flex. And make a circle just from your ankle one direction and take it around going the opposite direction. And place that left ankle on top of your right thigh. Let that left knee gently move forward. And now pulling the navel into the back of the spine, flatten that lower back down to the floor. Keep your belly squeezed in to keep the lower back down, and then raise the right foot off the mat, pressing the right thigh into your left ankle. So if you can't lift the foot, if you're getting a deep stretch in that left hip without lifting your right leg, you don't have to lift the leg. Lifting the leg increases the stretch in through the hip. And keep pressing that right thigh in. Feel the work of the right leg doing the work to open the left hip. And then bring that right foot to the floor. Interlace your fingers around the left shin. Pulling the left thigh into your chest. Flex the feet and straighten your right leg. So right foot flexes, pressing forward as well as the left foot, and keep pulling your navel into the back of the spine, pulling the thigh into your chest. So feel the work in both feet. Inhale, lift the nose up towards the knee and keep that lift. Exhale, relax your shoulders. Inhale, keep letting that nose go to the knee. Exhale. And last one, inhale. And exhale, lower the head back down. Slide your right foot back up. Keep the right leg, soften the right toes and the left, and right hand comes onto the outside of your left thigh. Left arm in T, inhale, navel pulls into the back of the spine, and then exhaling, that left knee gently goes over to the right side, keeping the left shoulder down, just letting yourself open into a twist. Turn your gaze to look over the left shoulder and breathe here. Make sure that you're breathing in and out through your nose and using your Ujjayi breath. So try to really hear the sound. And slowly take your head back center. Bring your left leg back up and hug that right knee into the chest. And just take a couple of gentle rocks. Just massage your lower back. And then bring both feet flat to the floor. So we're going to just take a back bend here, coming into a bridge position. So both arms coming down right alongside your body. Your feet are flat on the floor, so pull your heels in as close to your butt as you can get. And bring your navel into the back of the spine. Come into that pelvic tilt. So your pelvic tilts, your lower back flattens. And then lift the hips and butt as high up as you can go. And keep lifting up. If you need to, you can bring the block underneath your lower back. If it's really challenging to keep your hips lifted, you can bring the block. Taking whatever position of the block helps you to keep those hips lifted. So maybe the smaller edge of the block coming under the sacrum. And just stay here. So it's a supported bridge pose until you get the strength that you need in your legs and your back to keep your hips lifted up. So just do the best you can, and then take those hips up a little higher. So even if you are in your supported bridge with your lower back on the floor, just see if you can lift up and hold for another breath or two. And then if you If you have the block there, remove the block and very slowly bring every vertebra down one at a time, nice and slow. And then let's hug those knees and pull them into your chest and rock gently from side to side. Just getting a little massage in your lower back. And then bring both feet down to the floor and separate your legs a little wider than the width of your mat until you feel the very edges of your mat next to your pinky toes. And open your arms out in T position and allow the lower back to flatten. So come into that pelvic tilt. Inhaling, pulling the navel in, and on your exhale, just let your knees release over to the right. And you're going to feel a stretch coming in from the left armpit, down the left side, into the left hip, down through the left thigh. And bring those feet back up to center. Inhale. Keep that navel pulling in so lower back stays flat. Exhale, draw the knees over to the left. So you're keeping your feet in a wide space. Try not to bring the feet in closer and just feel that you're stretching into the right side, down through the right hip, into the right thigh. And then slowly coming back up. We're going to finish in Happy Baby. So for Happy Baby, stay on your back, pull your knees into your chest. Once your knees come into your chest, let your knees separate out as wide as they can go, and then allow the feet to lift towards the ceiling like you're in a squat position. Keep pressing your sacrum down to the floor, so keep your navel pulling into the back of the spine. And without lifting your head up, just reach up and find your ankles. If you're flexible enough, find the outside edges of your feet. You want to keep your lower back pressing to the floor. Pull those knees in towards your armpits. So getting a hip stretch, getting a groin stretch here. So the lower back stays flat. And if you want, rock the baby gently side to side. So Happy Baby as it rocks side to side. And then come back to center. Just hold, pulling those knees in a little closer to the armpits, pressing the sacrum down to the floor. And then release your feet, bringing your feet to the floor and slide your legs straight forward as we prepare for our relaxation. So coming into Shavasana now, relaxation, you want to let your legs stay open about hip distance. Take your arms and let them open about 6 or 7 inches away from your body. Turn your palms towards the ceiling. Squeeze your shoulder blades, feel your chest lift, and then let the shoulders relax, let your shoulder blades soften. Exhaling, let everything go. Well, let's take a couple of cleansing breaths here just to release and let go of any tightness that we might still be holding on to. So for our cleansing breaths, we're going to be breathing in through the nose. So take a nice deep breath in through your nose. Then open your mouth and sigh it out. And again, deep inhale through your nose. And exhale, sigh it out. And last one, inhale. And sigh it out. If your eyes are not closed already, let them close. And let yourself just resume your own natural breath. Not worrying about your Ujjayi breath anymore. Just as you relax, welcome in the flow of pranic energy flowing in and letting it flow out. With each exhale, feel a sense of letting go a little bit more deeply into relaxation. So you can start to feel your body being receptive to letting go. Maybe it takes a few breaths before you really can identify with that sensation of letting go. Maybe you can find it right away. So you don't continue using your Ujjayi breath anymore. That breath only serves us when we're moving through postures or sustaining postures, but when we're relaxing, we just let that normal breath, that natural breath flow in and out. So as you completely relax, begin to invite in a beautiful golden light. See a small orb of light, maybe about the size of a ping pong ball. Allow that light to just change and get maybe bigger, brighter. Let it swirl around. Just stay connected to how you're seeing that light. Bring it into your mind's eye, into your third eye where your eyebrows meet, or up into the forehead. And then feel that light as it starts to smooth out through the brow, smooth the forehead. And then let that light just travel into the eyes as it warms the face and relaxes all the facial muscles. And feel that golden light just warm, melting in through the neck to release any tension or tightness there, and into the shoulder blades, into the shoulders. And let that warm light travel down both arms, coming into the upper arms, down through the inner elbows, forearms down through the wrists, into the palms of your hands, and let the backs of the hands melt to the earth, and feel the light warm and let it soften your fingers. Take that light from your neck area, let it flow into the throat, relaxing the throat, maybe swallow if you feel the need to. And let the light travel through the front and back of your chest, the chest and the back, through the shoulder blades, the mid-back, down into the lower back. And let it wrap around in through your diaphragm and your belly, feeling its warmth, relaxing you a little more, letting the light now travel down into the hips, front of the hips, into the lower back, through the buttocks, allowing it to wrap around your pelvis, your belly, and just let that light soften any tightness. See that light begin to travel through the thighs, the front and back of both legs, expanding and opening, relaxing the legs as it comes to your knees, the back and the front, the kneecaps down through the shins and the back of the calf. Feel the light travel down through your ankles as it relaxes the heel, the tops of the feet, the soles of the feet, and into the toes. And now just seeing your body enveloped in this beautiful golden light, feeling completely relaxed and at peace. And just stay here with this sense of relaxation, letting your mind just see the beautiful warm light, seeing your body, accepting this light into the body as it relaxes more and more. And just hold this sacred space. Let your body melt into the light as you relax deeper and deeper. Just noticing your body relax, feeling very heavy and open. And start to bring that light back to see that circle, once again, that orb of bright light. And allow it to come back into your third eye. So gradually letting all that light collect into that small ping pong ball of light. Send it to your third eye, and then just feel it rising out from the crown of your head and sending it back to the source. Take a moment to just notice how you feel. Perhaps revitalized, rejuvenated, relaxed, whatever describes how you feel, just notice it. And then take your hands together in prayer position and rub the hands vigorously, create heat and energy in your hands. Really get those hands to create that hot friction. And once you have enough friction there, place your hands and cup them over your eyes and bathe and soothe your eyes. You may see some colors, some golden light of energy too behind your eyes. Keep your eyes closed and then just slowly let your hands wash through your face until you let the hands massage, the fingers massage the lower part of your neck, just massaging the neck area. And then bring your arms down alongside you. Just rest for a moment. Take a nice deep inhale and extend your arms all the way over your head, exhaling out any sigh sounds or moans. And then just draw your knees and pull them into your chest. So pulling them in, hug those knees in, rock it out gently from side to side. And when you feel ready, roll your whole body over to the right side, but stay in that fetal position, coming into Garbhasana. And let yourself just rest here. Let your head rest on your right arm. And let your left hand stay on the floor in front of your chest. Be with your stillness. Be with your peace. And let your eyes remain closed as you slowly and gently ease your way to a seated position. Take your time and try to bring the head up at the last moment. And once you're sitting up tall, take your hands into prayer, Anjali Mudra, allowing the thumbs to just come to the center of your chest. Take a moment just to notice how you're feeling. Know that this is the result of the effort you put into your practice this morning. Even though sometimes postures can seem a little difficult, a little challenging, we always receive some benefit. And it's evident as you can notice how you feel right now. So let us seal in what we've gained, seal in what we've learned. Maybe we don't know if we've really learned anything, but on a deeper, more subtle level, there is something that changed and shifted. So the more you practice, the more this change happens, and then it becomes more evident to you. So with our hands into the chest, let's take a nice deep breath. We'll chant Om one time. Om. And very slowly and gently, take your chin to your chest as you bow to the light and love that shines within you. Know that that light shines brightly within each and every one of us. Namaste. Thank you very much, everyone, for coming. This is the last Saturday session of the series, so I hope to see you once we start up back in September. Have a great day.